Hey guys, Jason back with MRS Hobby, and we are going to continue our red today. So we've got our wash on. It's pretty much all the way dry, so I'm going to come back over that red like we talked about before with just the base color again to bring it back up. But I am going to avoid any lines so that we get a good kind of grimy, not grimy, basically a nice panel line is what we want to get. And again, we're very thin on our paint. We want to keep our we want to keep all the detail that we can. And so we don't want to clog it all up with paint. So like I said, we're just going to kind of avoid those lines. We don't want any of that fresh color getting back in on top of those dark colors that we just that the wash put in. You can already kind of see the nice contrasts between like the darker and the light. You might also feel like you have to do a couple of coats, and that's fine. Just want to kind of bring that base color back up to like what it was before we put the wash on there. Alright, you can already kind of start to see how it pops out. So then we'll continue down onto the arm pieces here. You can see you can see that there's some of that wash is still down in there wet, so I'm definitely going to avoid that. It will instantly mix with your paint color and just darken it right down, kind of undoing everything that we're trying to do. And I don't mind that it stays kind of dark in those little crevices in there. That's fine, because having that contrast makes all the difference in terms of giving it depth. And this part right here is the part that takes a bit of practice. You're going to want to be careful not to get too much paint on there and get it into the crevices, because if you do that, then you're just undoing all we just did in the previous step. So I just kind of get a brush that you're comfortable with, thin that paint down, and then just kind of start laying that color in, making sure to avoid the cracks and things like that. So I've got these fingers here that I do want to put some paint on. So you're just gonna kind of tickle it on there. That's what I don't know. It's a very light stroke because you don't want a bunch of paint to go down, but you do want to highlight some of those flat surfaces. Done. We're going to end up with is something that's, you know, now you got two tones instead of just one. Now we've added the depth of the base coat back over the wash. The next step after this will be to highlight, and then your three-step red is done. You kind of do the same thing with that gold too if you want. I kind of like the way that the gold looks with the wash over it, and then maybe just very little highlighting to kind of bring up edges and stuff, but I kind of like the way it mutes the gold down. It makes it look kind of like brassy to me. So that's that color. I'm going to go rinse my brush out while that's drying and prepare the red highlight color. All right, we're on to the highlight red. Some of these, they get just the consistency of the paint gets real thick, and you've got to thin it down. I mean, it's a necessity, or else it gets real clumpy and goes on really, really thick, which is not going to be ideal. So here we have our corn red, Nuln Oil, corn red over that, and now we're going to go with this whatever it's called, Mystifon red. The paint on, if it feels like it's thick, then just add more water, kind of keep Alright, we're just going to keep kind of working this red over the highlight red over the darker red, and if I'm going to paint it down, I'm going to come just short of like any edges, and then as it dries, you'll start to see like a nice gradient kind of come out, and it makes a really nice overall effect. Gives like another layer of depth to the whole thing. Yeah, we're just about done. Just going to kind of touch up some more of this red. Yeah, I'm going to try to get it this brighter red onto those knuckles too. All right, so that's my complete red. The last thing that you may or may not want to do, it's kind of up to you. I don't even know if I brought the right colors today, but you can see on this model, there's like a brighter kind of red. It's actually an orange that I've dry brushed over some of the you know, the edges to kind of just make them pop a little bit more, and that would really be taking it to the next level, because then you'd have like four colors of you know 4 layers of depth on here that will really make it like go crazy in terms of looks. But this to me is you know, tabletop ready. I mean, ultimately, I haven't done any dry brushing on this model. Essentially, that's when it dries, it gets to about like that, and then once you put a clear coat over it, it'll really kind of punch it back up and bring out the brightness of the reds. So that's it for red. If you guys have any questions about it, please leave comments, and I'm sure that Dave or Doug can get back to me and we can answer them in future videos, or and kind of go from there. But thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Next time we'll pick a different color, maybe a gray or something like that, and I'll kind of talk about how I finish up and work on how I get my gray colors in. All right, well, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.